of Ragnar Lothbrok, Chapter 16. They went on so that they came to Denmark before the messengers of King Ella, and then they sat quietly with their troops. And when the messengers came with their troops to the town where their sons of Ragnar were being given a feast, they went into the hall where they were drinking, and went before the high seat where Ivar was lying. Sigurd Ormur Iaga and Hvitserk sat playing Hinnatoffel, and Bjorn Jarnsteder was carving a spear shaft on the floor of the hall. And when the messengers of King Ella came before Ivar, they spoke with him respectfully. He received their greeting, and asked where they were from, and what tidings they bore. And the one, who was their leader, said that they were Englishmen, and that King Ella had sent them thither with tidings which spoke the fall of Ragnar, their father. Hvitserk and Sigurd quickly let the Toffel pieces fall from their hands, and they attended closely to the tide-telling. Bjorn sat on the floor of the hall and leaned on his spear shaft. But Ivar asked him exactly what the circumstances of Ragnar's life-leaving had been. And they told it all as it had happened, from the time he came to England until the time he gave up his life. And then when the tale came to when he had said the young boars might grumble, Bjorn squeezed the spear shaft with his hand, and he squeezed so strongly that the print of his hand was seen on it afterwards. When the messengers ended the recounting, Bjorn shook the spear asunder so that it broke into 2 pieces, and Hvitserk held a Toffel piece that he had been moving, and he crushed it so strongly that blood spurted out from under each fingernail. And Sigurd had been holding a knife and paring his nails when the tidings were being told, and he listened so closely to the tidings that he did not notice until the knife stood in the bone, and he did not flinch at that. But Ivar asked how it all happened, and his color was now red, now livid, and he would suddenly become very pale, and he was so swollen that his flesh was all mortified from the anger that was in his breast. Then Hvitserk began to speak, and said that vengeance could be most quickly taken by killing the messengers of King Ella. Ivar said, "That shall not be. They shall go in peace wherever they wish, and anything which they lack they need only to ask me for, and I shall secure it for them." And when they ended their errand, they turned back out of the hall into their ships. And when they were given wind, they put out to sea, and they traveled well until they came to a meeting with King Ella, and they told him how each of the brothers had reacted to the tide signs. And when King Ella heard of that, he spoke, "It is certain that we will need fear either Ivar or else no one, because of what you say of him. Thoughts of revenge do not run very deep in him, and we will manage our kingdom against them." And then he had watchmen sent out throughout his kingdom, so that no army might come to him unknown. And when the messengers of King Ella had gone away, the brothers began to discuss how they should go about revenging Ragnar, their father. Then Ivar spoke, "I will have no part in this. I shall not muster troops, for it happened with Ragnar as I had thought it would. He prepared badly for his action from the beginning. He had no grievance with King Ella, and it often happens that if a man stubbornly decides to act unjustly, he is brought down contemptibly in such a way. And I will accept compensation from King Ella if he will give it to me." But when the brothers heard that, they became very angry and said they would never become so cowardly, although he wished it to be. Many might say we will wrongly rest our hands upon our knees if we do not seek father vengeance, when before we have fared widely across the land with war shields and killed many a guiltless man. But it shall not be so. Rather, every ship in Denmark that is seaworthy shall be readied. The most skilled troops shall be gathered, so that every man who may bear a shield against King Ella shall travel with us. But Ivar said that he would leave behind all the ships that he commanded, except for that one which I will be on myself. And when it was heard that Ivar would not take any part in the action, they received many fewer troops, but they went nonetheless. And when they came to England, King Ella became aware of it, and quickly had his trumpet sounded, and called to him all the men who wished to assist. And then he went with so many troops that no one could say how many had come, and he went to meet the brothers. Then the armies met with each other, and Ivar was not there when they clashed in battle. And when the battle ended, it came about that the sons of Ragnar fled, and King Ella had the victory. And while the king was pursuing the fleeing host, Ivar told his brothers that he did not intend to turn back to his land. And I desire to find out whether King Ella will do me any honor or not. It seems to me better to thus receive compensation from him than to fare often again as we have now fared. Hvitserk said that he would not have dealings with him, and he would go about his affairs as he wished. but we shall never take payment for our father. Ivar said that he would part with him, and told them to rule the kingdom that they had all held together. And you should send me my things when I ask for them. And when he had spoken, he bade them farewell. Then he turned again to meet with King Ella. And when he came before him, he greeted the king worthily, and spoke to him thus: I have come to meet with you, and I want to come to an agreement with you on such compensation as you will prepare for me. And now I see that I have nothing compared to you, and it seems to me better to accept such compensation from you as you will grant me, rather than lose my men or myself to you. Then King Ella answered, Some men claim that it is not safe to trust you, and that you speak most fairly when you are thinking deceitfully. It would be difficult to defend against you and your brothers. I will ask little of you. If you will grant it, I will swear to you in this manner, that I shall never be against you. Then the king asked him to say what compensation he wanted. Ivar replied, I want you to give me as much of your land as an ox hide covers, and outside of that shall be the outer boundary. I will not ask more of this than you, and I think that you wish me little honor, if you will not grant me this. I do not know, said the king, whether it might harm us if you have that much of my land, but I think I will give it to you, if you will swear not to bear arms against me. If you are true to me, I shall not fear your brothers. And thus ends chapter 16.